What's up, guys? It's your girl, Miss O, and we are back for another review with me as we review Real Housewives of Rhode Island, Season 1, Episode 2. And everybody is putting everything on the table in this episode. So, as the intro plays, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe because I know y'all watching, and let somebody know I'm over here doing reviews.
Said what? Oh, said what?
So we open the episode up with Liz, Gary, and Liz tells us that she's been married to Gary for 11 years, and they are meeting at Gary's parents' home because they are meeting the parents and the boyfriend slash baby daddy of their daughter, who is pregnant for the first time, Brianna. So as the family come together and mix and mingle, Gary wanted to know how the grandparents felt about the boyfriend, and they like him. They really do. So Rihanna and the boyfriend arrives. I don't remember what his name was, so I'm just gonna call him boyfriend until further notice. Rihanna and the boyfriend arrive. They chit chat with the parents and the grandparents, and then the boyfriend parents arrive. And they just seemed like they were having a good time. It looked like they were going to gel really well. So during the conversation, I believe it was the dad, Gary, Brianna's dad, asked him, did he want a boy or a girl? And granddad wants a boy because he has 3 girls. But boyfriend wants a daughter. He always wanted a daughter since they found out they was pregnant. He wanted a girl. And for boyfriend's sake, I hope he gets what he wants. I hope he becomes a girl dad. So then we wrap that scene up and we move on to the next scene, which is Joe Ellen and Ashley meeting up for a mommy play date. When my oldest son was born, my friend group, me and my partner was the only ones that had a kid at that time. So it was us and that kid. I cannot imagine meeting up with one of my friends and all of our children are under the age of 5 and we have multiple. That would drive me crazy. But Ashley meets up with Joe Ellen and they're trying to get to know one another. They reminisce about the party, and Joe Ellen tells Ashley that she did talk to Kelsey and let Kelsey know, about Rosie asking questions at the Posh picnic that they had in episode 1. Joellen begins to express to Ashley, like, I hope that picnic didn't really put a bad taste in your mouth. And Ashley was like, no, actually, if you were really paying attention to Ashley was laughing. She was having a kiki at that Posh picnic. So I don't really think that she's thrown off by what happened at the Posh picnic and at the 4th of July party. But I also know that Ashley is aware that in order to get in this clique, you got to be cool with Joe Ellen. Honestly, Joe Ellen doesn't seem like a bad person, but she seems like one of those women that when you get on her bad side, you get on her bad side. And that's probably what's going on with her and Ruler. That's further along in the episode. Moving on. So they take the kids to the swing, and Joe Ellen asks the question that made Ashley cry. She was like, so you said that Jared's at work and those waterworks just started. Honestly, Ashley, I really think that you are suffering through postpartum depression. I mean, everything is making you really emotional. I know when it comes to children and your husband, your personal life, that can be emotional. But the drop of the dime, crying about it every step of the way is, I don't want to say it's a problem, but it's gonna be a problem amongst us reviewers talking about it, because we don't want to see you cry every episode. I also would say that I feel like that you are taking the brunt of what your husband is stressing about personally. You stated that he said it's not the kids, it's not you, he's just stressing out. But I also think that a lot of your nagging about him being happy could cause a lot of friction within your relationship. So go to your doctor, talk to your doctor, get some information about postpartum depression and what it is and the signs, and try to see what's going on there, because I don't want to see you crying for the next 10 episodes. So that wrapped up that scene. So the next scene we get with Rula, Liz, and Kelsey, who meets up for lunch. At this lunch, we find out that the ladies know each other's secrets. So long story short, Rula's husband has a mistress and everybody in Rhode Island knows about it. Kelsey is kind of like in the same boat, and Liz wants Rula to stop being delusional about what's going on. If you forgave your husband and you're going to be with your husband and you know those rumors are out there, rumors, it's over with. You stand with your husband, dead it, nip it in the bud in the chapter. But you are letting the rumors linger on unless your husband is still having this affair with this mistress. So we do find out this is why Rula does not like Joellen. Joellen was skimming on social media, found the picture that the mistress had posted of her and Rula's husband's Brian, and she shared it to her friend Liz, who also knows Rula, who Joella knows through Liz. Liz let Rula know, and Rula gave Joellen a phone call, which you find out later in the episode. Rula gave Joellen a phone call and said, woman to woman, please send me those photos. And when she got those photos, Joellen said she heard an audible gasp. So in this conversation with Liz expressing to Rula that she just need to be truthful about the situation, Rula takes a dig at Liz that I'm glad that Liz clocked immediately and shut that shit down. Rula tells Liz it's different when you had children with this person. And I know you raised them, but you don't have any children with them. And Liz checked the shit out of Rula, and I'm here for it. Baby, I might not have birthed them girls, but I came in them girls' lives when they were younger. I raised them, I fed them, I bathed them. I did all the things that a mother who pushed them out would have done. So don't talk to me about being a mother. Check her ass. Thank you, Liz. In my notes, I did put that Rula and Kelsey are one and the same. The difference between the two, though, Rula might know that her husband is cheating but thought it wouldn't get out. Kelsey, on the other hand, knows that her man has another woman in another state half of the year. And because she knows that and she wants different, we find out later in the episode that she got two boyfriends. Now, Alicia meets with Kelsey for wine, cheese, and crackers, a charcuterie board. Kelsey fills in Alicia about the lunch that she had with Liz and Rula, and Rula doesn't care for Joellen. Joellen was the one who shared the picture of Rula's husband and the mistress. And Alicia was like, I heard the rumors, but I haven't had time to ask about it. But I definitely have heard the rumors. So Kelsey wanted everybody to deal all the rumors, put everything on the table. So they are going to have a group meeting, and we do find out that group meeting is going to be at Newport Vineyards. So we wrap up that scene and go to the next scene, which is at Rula's home, We find out that she is the only female captain in Rhode Island. She's also owns a financial planning firm. Her husband is a podiatrist. They have 2 children, a boy and a girl, and that they have been together for 11 years, but they've been married for 9. So once they get their kids situated in the pool, they chill poolside, and Ruler begins to express to Brian how the lunch was with Kelsey and Liz. And she was like, instead of y'all firing off about what y'all don't know, how about you come and ask the source? And I put in my notes, ma'am, we can't ask you a question if you in denial. Your own good Judy Liz is sitting up there telling you you are delusional because we see the evidence of him cheating. That's not a rumor. The mistress posted, that's not a rumor. What needs to be addressed is, hey, me and my husband have figured out something. That's our business and we keeping it under wraps. Dead the shit. Had a conversation with your friend group and did it. But the way you are going about having this venom towards Joellen because she's the one who brought it to your attention, I think you mad at the wrong person, honey. Brian says that it was done. That happened last year. And in the confessional, he says it's done. And we're still working on it. And then they asked her, has she forgiven him? And it was a long pause. And then she said she's still working on it, which is going to be a problem. Now, Brian did make it clear that she is tracking him, so she knows his every move. But baby, these men be getting slick, especially if they messing with a younger chick. Brian begins to say, I love my kids, I love my wife, and they are just jealous. And in my notes I said, sir, jealous, jealous, jealous of you cheating on your wife and making a fool of her. I don't think anybody's jealous of that. They're just talking about what's going on, and you guys are being delusional and not addressing it. Jealous was definitely the wrong word, Brian. Kelsey arrives at Alicia because that is going to be the leave off point where the girls get together on a party bus and go to a winery. We do find out the name of that winery is Newport Vineyards. And Kelsey was like, I like cheap wine that's like $8 a bottle, like stripper juice. And if you guys aren't familiar, what she's talking about is some Stella Rosa. And don't get me wrong, depending on what's going on, I'll take a little bit of Stella Rosa, but that junk be giving me a headache now. I'm almost 40. I can't drink all that sweet shit. Give me some Josh. So the girls, they get on the party bus, they kind of pregame, and then they arrive at the winery and they take a tour. After the tour was done, Kelsey did pull Joellen to the side to let her know that Rula is supposed to meet them at the winery. And Joellen is pissed. And if what she's saying is true about Brian emailing her employer and stuff like that, rightfully so. Rightfully so to be pissed. Kelsey informs Joellen that her, Rula, and Liz met for lunch, which Joellen seemed kind of surprised about that she didn't know beforehand. But anywho, Kelsey begins to fill her in on how Rula is feeling about what transpired with Joellen being in the mix. Joellen feels like she's getting the brunt of Rula's anger about her husband having an affair, And Joellen really doesn't feel like it's fair. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think it is either. If Rula is somebody that I'm trying to get to know and develop a friendship, but she's really good friends with Liz, who is one of my best friends, and I find this information out, I am going to go to my best friend and tell her, like, girl, did you see this? Now, what needs to happen is finding out how Liz brought the information to Rula, because it's all about how you say things. So this is where we find out that the mistress posted the picture. Joellen seen it. She sent it to Liz. Liz told Ruella, and Ruella wanted to have a woman-to-woman with Joellen and said, if you got these pictures, please send them to me. And she did. That was the rundown from Liz to Ashley, so Ashley can be up to par on what's going on and why Rula and Joellen do not like one another. Joellen really doesn't care about Brian having an affair. What became her issue was when, after 6 months later, her employer gets an email from Brian stating that basically Joelle is trying to ruin his marriage. And in turn, they're trying to ruin her reputation. She did let us know that her husband pays the mortgage and she pays for everything else. And the fact that they was trying to destroy her reputation and her career and take food and money out of her children's mouths, she has a really big problem with that. And honestly, I'm not mad at you, Joellen, because I came to you privately about something, and you're trying to take it to my work. You're trying to fuck up my cash flow. And if anybody know me, everybody that knows me personally know I don't play about my money, and I definitely ain't gonna play about my money when it's in regards to my children. I'll take it there. So I'm not mad at her for feeling the way she's feeling. Now, how viciously this is coming out, we can dial it back some, but I can't tell nobody how to react when they feeling attacked. So Kelsey and Joellen joins the ladies at the table, and Joellen basically comes in and lets the girls know that, hey, I don't like Rula. Rula does not like me. She's trying to destroy, you know, how I take care of my family, and I'm not here for that shit. So I believe it was Kelsey and was like, do you guys want to play a game? And she had these boxes. The ladies had to fill out a question and put it in a box for the lady. So it was question, comments, and concerns. So Ashley was the first question, and the question was, when did you lose your virginity? And I did not catch who asked this question. I think that is a weird question, but Ashley answered, and she said she was 29 years old. Now, I didn't lose my virginity that late. I wish I could have I wish I would have held on to it longer than when I did. But that's what she chose to do. She gave us her explanation. Now, in Kelsey's confessional, she said, I lost mine at 14. Kelsey, I know a lot of girls who lost it pretty early, so you're not alone. The next question was for Alicia, and the question was, did you hook up with Gary? And I believe Joellen asked that question, and she knows, but she just wanted to be sure and put it out there on the table. And Alicia said, oh God, no. Jerry is like my brother. Absolutely not. I would not do that. I prayed for him at communion. Like, absolutely not. No. So then the next question was for Rosie. And guess who asked the question? Miss Joellen herself. And the question was, did you have sex with that coach? And Rosie was like, absolutely not. I don't even know that man. I've never met that man. Now, I did hear that I believe Kelsey said, I did hear that rumor that the coach was sleeping with a reporter. And Rosie fired back and was like, yeah, he might have been sleeping with a reporter, but it wasn't me. And she was in her confessional. She said, Rich isn't even my type. For real, which is her husband, which is disheartening to hear in a confessional and on national TV if I was her husband. Excuse me. But in comparison, she said, so if he's not my type, would you think I would talk to an old coach? Absolutely not. So the next question was for Joe Ellen, and the question was, are you a swinger? And she insinuates that she get this question a lot. She says she is not a swinger, but Rhode Island itself is a big swinging state, and she says she got a lot of friends who are swingers, but she is not now. She will say that her and her husband did participate in a threesome in her confessional, and she was like, oh my god, my mama's gonna hear this. We're grown. If you and your husband had that conversation and that was something that you guys wanted to partake in, by all means, do what you need to do to keep y'all satisfied. So the next question was for Kelsey. I'm not clear who asked this question, but they said, are you dating? And she clarifies that she is not a polygamist. She's never been in a polygamous relationship. She's never had a polygamous relationship. She also went in and told us that she wants marriage and kids, but the man that she's been with for 10 years does not want to give that to her. So she is dating someone else. And Rosie was so confused. She was so confused. So she had to pull up ChatGPT and find out the difference between polygamous and polyamorous. And the difference was polygamous, you're married, poly, you're not. But I beg to differ with the poly thing, because if she has a boyfriend and she's dating someone else, and the boyfriend clearly is not really a boyfriend, she's dating him because she only see him 6 months out of the year and she's talking to the other guy, wouldn't that actually be considered dating? I don't know. Y'all drop down in the comments and let me know, what would y'all consider it? Would it be poly or would it be dating? Kelsey go on to say, I'm cool, I'm living life, and I'm figuring out. So after Kelsey got done, Joellen calls out Alicia and Rosie and said, so if you have any questions, make sure you ask Kelsey. And Liz hit her with a like, Joellen, so why did you bring it up then? And Joellen got confused and was like, I didn't bring it up. Rosie co-signed and said, yes, you did. And then Alicia co-signed and said, at the picnic. Now, if you guys were present for my episode 1 review, I said that Joellen started talking and then she realized she was not with the right group of girls and she was trying to shut it down. And that's exactly what she did. But Joellen, you did bring it up. Joellen, you didn't mean to bring it up. And I kind of like how Ashley is being a kiss ass to Joellen, because she definitely jumped in and was like, all she said was she had a week with Kelsey and this, she being a kiss ass. So the last and final question was from Alicia to Liz. And Liz couldn't even read the damn question because Alicia was so damn nervous when she was writing. She was scared to ask the question, but she wanted to know and she wanted to put the rumors on the table. So her question was, I love you, but is the news true? And Liz says, what news? And Alicia said that you're having an affair or something. I think Liz was taken aback that her good friend Alicia asked her that question because they've been knowing each other their whole life. Liz proceeds to tell us that is not true. But I forgot who said it in a confessional, but they was like, yeah, I heard that there was over 400 calls a month to this person. And Liz is older, so I don't think she's texting that much. Liz begins to tell us that her and her husband have a really close friend named Dino. And when her husband decided to take up sport fishing and be gone for 3 weeks out of a 4-week month, Dino was asked by her husband to keep an eye on her. In the confessional, Liz stated that her and Dino have an unconventional friendship. But was it completely right? No. Have I ever slept with that man? No. Am I having a intimate relationship with that man? No. Liz, get the hell on. Don't come and play in our face. Somebody is going to spill the tea. I mean, the rumors are already out. You know what I'm saying? You and your husband may have an unconventional relationship. And it really ain't our business. But y'all putting it on the show, we gonna make it our business. So don't tell us that Dino is just an unconventional friendship, and then we find out that you and Dino allegedly in the bed having a emotional cuddling affair. Okay. Once more, Liz is very shocked that Alicia asked this question because she said, you know me, you know Dino, we grew up together, you know our friendship. Why would you put that on the table? And she said, we might as well just put it on the table. And she was like, I know that rumor is good. Let's just use it. Let's just use it. I don't think that's a smart idea, Liz. But we only in episode 2, so I can't wait to see how this goes. Kelsey think that this sit down at the winery was a success. I actually think it was a success too, because some of the things that were spoken about on episode 1 was put on the table. It was addressed. There you go. We shouldn't really have any more rumor things, but we'll see, because they did give us a sneak peek of episode 3, and there's going to be some drama between Joellen and her husband and Rula and her husband. So, if you guys made it to the end of this video, do me a favor, drop a green heart, drop down in the comments and have some Discord with me. Let me know how y'all are feeling about Real Housewives of Rhode Island, because I know we are only on episode 2, but I'm definitely locked in. I have not reviewed on my channel Real Housewives of Atlanta. I have watched episode 1. I do have notes for episode 1. But I want to go into episode 2 to really see if I'm going to be a viewer or if I'm going to be a viewer and a reviewer. But that's all I got for you guys. Again, I'm Miss O, and this is what Miss O has said.